Galileo was born on February 15th, 1564, and he died January 1642. He was an Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer, sometimes described as a polymath from Pisa. Galileo has been found as the father of observational anatomy and the father of modern physics, the father of scientific method, and the father of modern science. He's the oldest of 7 children. In 1581, at the age of 17, he gave in to his father's wishes and entered the University of Pisa to study medicine. He then began his love for math and started teaching privately in Florence. Galileo studied speed and velocity, gravity and freefall, and the principle of relative inertia, projectile motion, and also worked on applied science and technology, describing the properties and pendulums of hydraulic static balances, and inventing the thermoscope and various military compasses, and using the telescope for scientific observation of celestial objects. Galileo invented a telescope that had 3 times the magnification than Hans Lippershey invented in 1608. Could be seen upright images of Earth with his telescope. It was the first to report lunar mountains and craters, made the conclusion that the moon is rough and uneven like Earth. Galileo believed in the Catholic Church persecuted Galileo for abandoning the view of the Earth's center for a view of the Sun's center. Was sentenced to imprisonment, but then allowed to be on house arrest. He has a book, The Challenge of Reason. Galileo died January 8th, 1642. Sir Isaac Newton was born on January 4th, 1643, from England. Was born premature, was actually born 3 months after his father died. He came from a family of farmers, and he turned out to be a mathematician, astronomer, physicist, and natural philosopher. From the age of 6 to 12, Newton studied at the King's School in Grantham, England. At the original school's building, you can see his signature on the library. He was born on a farm but hated farming. He was also removed from school because his mom wanted him to be a farmer, in which he rebelled to be the smart man he is. His work intensively uses calculus in geometric form based on limiting values and the relations of vanishing small quantities. Newton's 3 laws of motion may be stated as follows. Every object in a state of uniform motion will remain in a state of motion unless an external force acts upon it. Force equals mass times acceleration. For every acting, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's first law of motion states that Newton's law that an object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless acted upon by an external force. It may be seen as a statement about inertia, that objects will remain in a state of motion unless a force acts on it to change the motion. Newton's second law of motion pertains to the behavior of objects from which all existing forces are not balanced. The second law states that the acceleration of an object is dependent upon 2 variables, the net forces acting upon the object and the mass of the object. The third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion is for the action. There is an equal and opposite reaction. The statement means that in every interaction, there's a pair of forces acting on the 2 interacting objects. The size of the force on the first object equals the size of the force on the second object, and vice versa. And there we go. Hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.